Hi, I'm Grant. I'll be your English teacher, and today our lesson is going to be on art. We're going to discuss some art vocabulary and then just talk about some different styles and techniques of artwork. Art vocabulary. Sculpture. Sculpture would be using stone, clay, wood, and modeling or forming some kind of artwork, like statues would be sculpture. Comic art. Comic art would be comic strips, comic books, things like Garfield, animation, Spider-Man, Superman. That's comic art. Airbrush. Airbrush would be where you're taking a spray paint gun and airbrushing photograph or artwork. Tattoo art would mean usually on your body tattoo art, and some people have gotten very good at it, so they're considered artists, and that's called tattoo art. Life drawing. Life drawing would mean usually drawing the human figure in the nude, or some kind of modeling where you can do life drawing of just the arm or leg, different body parts. It doesn't have to be the whole body at once, but that would be called life drawing. Special effects. Special effects would be artwork in movies. Star Wars has a lot of special effects. They use computers to make special effects, and they also use small models to do effects as well. Watercolor. Watercolor would be paint. Usually it's a gentle style of paint. It's more transparent than like oil painting or acrylic. So using water and light strokes, that's watercolor. Oil. Oil is with usually more strokes. Oil takes more time, and so it's oil-based paint, and you maybe have to take several applications with the oil paint, let it dry, do another application. Next would be acrylic. Acrylic is usually just very quickly. You could paint with acrylic as opposed to oil, and acrylic it dries very quickly as well. Primary colors. Primary colors would be our red, yellows, and blues. Those are our primary colors. We call them primary because they're the basic colors. From those colors our secondary colors come. So secondary is our next vocabulary word. If you mix red and blue, you get purple, which would be a secondary color. If you mix red and yellow, you get orange, which would be another secondary color. Blue and yellow would give you green, another secondary color. So we have primary and secondary colors. Color palette. Color palette would be what the artist holds in his hand to take paint from. So that round thing is called the color palette. Art medium. Art medium is just what you're using for the painting. Is it the watercolors? Is it the oil? What is the actual substance that you're using to make the artwork? Art styles. Different art styles would be surrealism, realism, cubism. It's the different style of artwork. Landscape. Landscape is usually on a wide format, and it's usually done of mountains or land features. Rivers, valleys, fields, those would be landscape artwork, paintings, things like that. Portrait. Portrait is usually of a person's face. That would be portrait. Portrait paintings, portrait drawings, things like that. Okay, now we'll talk about art styles briefly. Pop art. Pop art would be everyday items such as a soup can, or Coca-Cola, or Marilyn Monroe, Angelina Jolie, like different items or things from everyday life that are made into artwork. And one of the most famous pop artists was Andy Warhol. So he did a lot of everyday items and he turned them into artwork. Abstract. Abstract would mean something, a painting or a drawing that can't really be recognized. Jackson Pollock was very famous for abstract. He would just take his paint and throw it at the canvas. So it doesn't really look like anything that we can recognize. It doesn't look like a face or anything else. It's abstract. It's just out of the ordinary, and we don't really recognize what it is. It could give us a feeling, but usually we don't recognize what it is. Cubism. Cubism is taking an object. If you took a person and you break the person down into more simple objects such as cubes. So my head would be one large cube, my eyes would be another cube, my pupils another cube, ears here would be rectangle or cube. So it's broken down into more simple objects or cubes. One of the most famous Cubist artists was Pablo Picasso. Next is Surrealism. Surrealism is artwork that is usually based off dreams, fantasies, ideas. One of the most famous surrealist paintings or painters is Salvador Dali. Impressionism. Impressionism was first developed in France, and it says that you're usually using bold colors and they don't have a lot of detail. So these paintings are usually done where if you're very close to them you can't see much detail, but when you're back away from them it looks like there is detail. One of the most famous artists in this category is Claude Monet. Next would be Pointillism. Pointillism uses very small dots or some kind of very small strokes. That's Pointillism. So when you're back away from it, you can't see the little dots or points, but when you come closer you can see that it's a lot of many little dots making the painting or the artwork. One of the most famous was Seurat that did Pointillism. Expressionism. Expressionism is having some kind of feeling in the painting. So if you have a painting with many people in a room and all of the people are warm colors like reds and browns and oranges, and you have one person with blue shades, very cold or dark shades, you might be trying to express something, some kind of feeling that this person is lonely or this person is sad. That would be expressionism. You're trying to express some kind of feeling in the artwork. And Marc Chagall is one of the most famous expressionism painters. Next would be realism. Realism is you're trying to make it look exactly like life or as close to like real life as you can. And some famous realist painters or artists were Leonardo da Vinci, Raphael, Michelangelo. Some of the Renaissance artists were very famous for realism. So those are some basic styles and some artwork vocabulary. I hope you enjoyed the lesson, and I hope you can try and study more and apply some of these terms in your everyday conversation. Have a nice day.